I am Tomas Gallareta Cervera, a graduate student at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and a member of MACHI. In this brief video, I'll comment on some of the factors that are commonly associated with the destruction of my archaeological sites. To illustrate my point, I will use some photographs from a visit during the summer of 2009 to several archaeological sites located in the Copan Valley of Honduras. In the Maya cultural area extends across the countries of Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. Since the 70s, laws in many of these countries have been passed to protect Maya archaeological and cultural heritage. However, there are still many issues that directly and indirectly contribute to the damage of archaeological sites. In 2008, MACHI started to collect information concerning the state of preservation of archaeological sites in several countries in the Maya region, especially the non-monumental pre-Hispanic settlements that lie underneath the ground, which are currently less protected than large sites with monumental architecture. By digitizing and georeferencing the 1980s map series of the Copan Valley, we were able to superimpose those maps with satellite imagery provided by Google Earth. This gave us the locations of the main archaeological remains of several non-monumental archaeological groups in reference to contemporary settlement. Afterwards, we made a field trip to observe the current state of preservation of the sites. At first sight, the most notorious source of possible disturbance of archaeological materials was the practice of subsistence agriculture. This disturbance was reported back in the 1980s by Bill Fash. He observed that due to the geophysical characteristic of the soils and terrain of the Copan Valley, this zone is by far the most fertile of all geomorphic surfaces located near the Copan River. Because of this, the Copan Valley has been occupied and farmed nearly continuously throughout the ancient and modern times. The archaeological site of Ostuman, for example, is almost completely covered with active agricultural fields. By approaching and dialoguing with local communities, particularly in the surrounding areas of Ostuman, archaeologists Alan Maca and Gregorio Perez have communicated with the local farmers about the importance of protecting the archaeological mounds. They did this by talking about how their planting technique can damage archaeological remains buried only a couple of inches below the ground. Another source of disturbance of ancient Maya sites is urban development. Some of the archaeological groups observed in the Copan Valley are completely surrounded by contemporary settlement. Some observed features like improvised and paved roads, trails, and houses were located in places that are invasive to archaeological remains. The resulting landscape is a mosaic of rural agricultural land, contemporary structures, and isolated archaeological mounds. Although there are a significant number of archaeological structures throughout the area, small non-monumental mounds are at greater risk of destruction. The only officially protected area in Copan Ruinas is the Copan Archaeological Park. However, there is a high density of pre-Hispanic structures throughout the Copan Valley. For these reasons, it is important to emphasize the importance of dialogue between professional archaeologists and local communities. Communication between these two groups, as observed at the site of Ostuman, can help the protection and preservation of Copan's archaeological record, which can lead to the better protection of the archaeological heritage of Honduras.